So this is the Nothing Phone 1. It's the company's first smartphone that is creating much hype because of the unorthodox approach towards the smartphone design. But you don't buy a smartphone only on the basis of looks, right? So I'm going to tell you my experience with the smartphone in the past 3-4 days of usage so you can decide whether to buy this phone or not. And there are some weird things which I need to tell you, so stick with me till the end. First of all, Nothing Phone 1's build quality is just amazing. I mean, you'll feel like you're holding a high-end phone with glass at the back and a metal frame with that boxy design, just like the iPhone and Samsung flagship lineup. And the best part is that phone still feels quite light in the hand. The company has made a lot of effort to make it eco-friendly as much as possible. They have used 100% recycled aluminum for the whole chassis, and 50% of the plastic come from a bio-based and recycled sources, which is a big feat for such a young company. And honestly, I'm in awe of the back design. It's not just because of the glyph lights at the back, but the other parts of the back panel too. It is clearly visible that a lot of thought process has gone into making such a distinctive look with exposed bits. You can clearly see multiple screws and ribbon cables just moving from one side of the phone to the other, and the rest of the bits have different patterns on them, and I have never seen such a design before. And this phone is definitely going to catch some eyeballs in the public because of the glyph lights. It is made up of 900 LEDs and they are all white, so you can't change the color if you were thinking about that. I'll talk more about the glyph interface in the latter part of the video. There are some things that I have in mind. Well, let's come to the basics. It has a good 1080p Full HD AMOLED display with 120Hz refresh rate that can go down automatically to 60Hz to save some battery, which is honestly rare in this segment. Even my Samsung Galaxy S20 FE can't do that. The display is a bit on the warmer side though, so I tuned it towards the cooler tone. It can go up to max brightness of 500 nits in regular usage, which I felt is on the lower side if you're going outdoors on a bright sunny day. However, it can go up to 1200 nits peak brightness while watching HDR content. Well, sadly you can't watch content in HDR on Netflix, but I hope they push a software update to enable it in the future. It is wrapped in Corning Gorilla Glass 5, front and back both, which is nice considering that people will not be putting a case over it. The front also has a pre-applied screen protector, but I wish there was a screen protector at the back too, especially the black one, because there's going to be scratches more visible on this one. Also, there's always on display available too. No customization is available though, but it provides ample info. It has an optical in-display fingerprint sensor, which is surprisingly fast, and you can assign up to 5 fingerprints. The phone is IP53 water and dust resistant, which means that it can withstand light sprays of water at an angle. So don't go diving into a pool with it. The Nothing Phone 1 is powered by a Snapdragon 778G Plus processor, which is good enough for regular use and some gaming like Call of Duty and BGMI. But don't expect it to run BGMI on max settings though. And for some odd reason, Asphalt 9 is not running on the phone even after installing and uninstalling the game twice, and the game just refuses to open and keeps crashing. The variant I have is having 8GB of RAM and 256GB of storage, which is non-expandable. And there are 2 other variants. So the base variant is 8GB of RAM and 128GB of storage, and the maxed out one having 12GB of RAM and 256GB of storage. By the way, it has Bluetooth 5.2 and sound quality is fine through Bluetooth earphones, but it's not hitting any home runs with the stereo loudspeakers. The majority of the sound is coming from the bottom firing speakers, like 70% from the bottom and the rest through the earpiece. But loudness is there, so you won't be missing any calls or notifications. It has excellent haptic feedback. The vibration motor is really good, which I've only experienced in higher-end smartphones like Samsung and iPhones. And you know, it has spoiled me. Whenever I went back to using my old phone, I just couldn't help but notice the difference. And I hope mid-range phones start adopting this because it adds to the overall experience of using the phone. Coming on to the battery life, I was easily able to push it for more than a day with 25% left. So if I dive into the details, it has 4500 mAh of battery, which was giving me 7 hours of screen on time. And I was testing the phone heavily by taking photos, making videos and gaming. So it can easily go through 1.5 days. This is all thanks to the power efficient processor and the Nothing OS, which is basically stock UI with minimal modifications. It is running on Android 12 and is currently on May security update. And Nothing has promised to provide 3 years of Android updates and 4 years of security updates, which means that it will be getting Android 15 and security patches till the year 2026. And also, It will be pushed every 2 months, so the July security patch should be arriving soon. There's no bloatware, not even a single app. There are only and only Google apps that are pre-installed, and that's how it should be. The phone just flies through everything, and they have added their own animations which are noticeable everywhere from unlocking the phone or just browsing through different settings and apps. Here's the real letdown: no charger in the box. I mean, I could have let it go if it was their second smartphone, so they can assume that the customers might have their previous smartphone's charger, which still doesn't make much sense, but nothing is charging 1500 rupees for it separately. Not cool. Anyway, you only get a USB Type-C to Type-C cable in the box. Oh, and on that note, check out my unboxing video of the Nothing Phone 1. The phone supports 33 watt fast charging, so you can use a third-party charger to charge it. The phone takes around 70 to 75 minutes to charge it from 0 to 100% fully. And there's a silver lining that the phone supports 15 watt wireless charging as well as 5 watt reverse wireless charging. If you have any questions, then let me know in the comments below. There's a lot to talk about the cameras. Let me first clear the specs. It has 2 cameras at the back, which is not a bad thing per se, because putting a 2 megapixel macro or a depth camera is just useless. So the main cam is a tried and tested 50 megapixel Sony IMX766 camera with OIS. This same cam can be found in OnePlus Nord 2 and other brand smartphones. And the second one is an ultra-wide 50 megapixel Samsung JN1 sensor with a 114 degree field of view. On paper, they look promising, but nowadays post-processing matters a lot, which can make or break a good camera. And that's what has happened here. The main sensor performs well in bright outdoor lighting with good color output, which looks close to real world colors. But as soon as there's some challenging condition, it starts to struggle, especially with the dynamic range. Even if the subject is exposed correctly, everything else in the background doesn't look as good. See here, the car dashboard is fine here, but the sky is totally blown out. You can't see any clouds, plus there are a lot of details which are lost through the windshield. And for a change, Delhi was quite gloomy on the weekend, and I'm happy to confirm that it can withstand light rain, so IP53 rating is justified. And if I talk about the ultra-wide cam, the colors are totally different from the main sensor and too dull. I also found it to be doing over sharpening, which makes it look artificial. The good thing is there's no smudging in the corner, with which ultra-wide cameras usually suffer. The ultra-wide camera can also be used as a macro camera if you are into macro photography. Also, night mode can be activated only when the camera detects low light by itself. You'll see a moon icon on the bottom right of the frame, so you need to click it if you want to use it. The front camera is a 16 megapixel Sony IMX471 camera, and it also struggles with dynamic range and over sharpening. But all these things can be fixed through software updates to the camera, because all 3 sensors are capable enough to produce good and sharp images. But nothing really needs to work on their post-processing algorithm. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, the glyph interface. And you already know how this has made the headlines all over the internet, and they are useful, let me tell you. They can be used as a fill light for shooting photos or videos instead of the harsh flashlight in some cases. You can also use it as a charging indicator, where the bottom exclamation mark will reflect how much the phone has charged, and then you can just wiggle the phone to see it when left idle. It will also glow when it is reverse wireless charging. And if you talk to the Google Assistant, the light will glow accordingly. You can use it for calls and notifications, and you can even assign different contacts to different ringtones for calls which sync with the glyphs. And yeah, they don't consume much battery. But that's it. I found myself keeping the phone mostly face up rather than face down to see which notifications did I miss or were pending. There's no option to assign a glyph notification to a particular person in an app like WhatsApp or Instagram. You can't even assign it to a particular app for that matter, which is a huge opportunity missed by the Phone 1. I hope they give out a software update to bring out this functionality, otherwise it defeats the whole purpose to keep the phone face down. And I'm certain that other companies will try to implement this in their smartphones in the future. Now the price of the smartphone for the base variant will cost you 31,999 Indian rupees, and the maxed out version will cost you 37,999 without any offers. But you can get 2,000 rupees discount with credit card offers. And honestly, I think the price is not too bad. I will leave all the affiliate links in the description below for different countries so you can check them out. I know some of you are not happy that there is no flagship processor inside, but that's the point. Nothing Phone 1 is not trying to be a ridiculous flagship gaming beast of a phone here. It is targeting the overall experience of the phone to be really smooth and flawless for the majority. With the excellent build quality, clean UI, long battery life, and amazing haptics, the Phone 1 is a treat to use. So it is trying to be good at everything, in fact excel at a few things, but not fail at anything. And that's a pretty good reason to consider Nothing Phone 1. And as a young company and currently with only 2 products launched, I'm pretty sure that there will be a lot of updates coming up for bug fixes and improvements, especially for the camera. And as a consumer, it is good for us to have one more smartphone brand which is bringing something new to the table. This will ultimately push its competitors to innovate even more. Well, thank you for watching Once Upon a Techie, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.